Hello. Sorry, I got two cameras now, and I always figure out I can't remember which one to look at on certain scenes. Anyways, what's up, everyone? How you doing? Real Blue here. Long story short, I'm gonna be, I've been told that I'm a better analyst than I am caster, so that's what we're doing. We're doing a bunch of analytical videos, basically just doing some analyst stuff as if I was on the desk for an esport. And one of the esports that I've just enjoyed watching as a viewer. I did some kind of analytical work in the past on it. I think like in 2020, I did on my website, I did power rankings, but it was like a blog post every week. Don't know how many people read that. So I thought, why not try and do it here in the video? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to be talking about the turn bracket, which is coming up. So those of you who don't know, NBA2k League is the esport that I just was talking about doing a blog post with power rankings 2 years ago. I didn't say it. Anyways, but yeah, NBA 2K League. So it's been something. I love basketball growing up, and then I played a lot of 2K. And then just watching the 2K League. I think the 2K League does a lot of things right. The main thing they do wrong is that they don't update their website with stats and stuff as much as they should. But other than that, I think they do so many things correctly. And one of the things is basically their triple crown way of their season, where they have regular season games, but they also have these three tournaments, the ticket or the tip off, the turn, whatever it may be. There's like the beginning, the start off tournament up to the season, the mid-season tournament, and then the one towards the end, and then there's the championship, right? So I think really it's just the way they have their format is awesome. Also changing this way is they have point systems. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just jump into this. I got a couple little notes on the side as well that you'll see. And then I have the bracket, and we'll talk about that. So let's jump right into it because I'm pretty excited. All right, so here we go, right? So first off, the turn for which camera am I looking at here? That one, okay. So the turn, it's a 3-week tournament, right? From May 24th to June 11th. This weekend, or this week, is going to be the final game. So Wednesday through Saturday are the final games for the turn tournament. And they do 3 weeks of pool play. So the pools, since you have a Western and Eastern Conference, they divide the pool. Group A and Group B are the Western Conference teams. Group C and D are the Eastern Conference teams. Another thing to know is that there are now a point system, which is throughout the entire season, when you win a game, you get 1 point. And you can get like a max of 11 points, I think, towards the standings. And we'll talk about that here in a second. So in Group A, we had T-Wolves, Jazz, Mavs, Pacers, Blazer 5, and the newest franchise, the Dukes Infinitos, right? And then in Group B, we had Warriors, Pistons, Kings, Lakers, Bucks, and Cavs. In Group C, for the Eastern Conference, we had Wizards, Heat, Hawks, Knicks, Magic, Nets. And Group D was the gen.g Tigers, Celtics, Grizz, 76ers, Hornets, and Raptors. Now, there's 6 teams in each of these groups. There's 4 groups. Each team is going to play the other teams in their groups one time in those 3 weeks. And then what happens is the top 4 teams are going to move into the bracket. So the bottom 2 teams in each are getting eliminated. So in Group A, Blazer 5, Dukes Infinitos, they got eliminated. Bucks and Cavs got eliminated in Group B. Magic and Nets got eliminated in Group C, and Hornets and Raptors got eliminated in Group D. And that was, Blazers and Blazer 5 and Infinitos went 1-4, Cavs went 1-4, Nets went 1-4, Raptors went 1-4, and then Magic, Hornets, Bucks all went 2-3. Now there were 3 teams that went undefeated and are looking really good: T-Wolves Gaming, Warriors Gaming, and Wizards, and the Wizards District Gaming. Those of you who don't know, Wizards District Gaming are your defending NBA 2K League champions. They won last year. So we're in season 5. So the first year, I believe it was the Knicks who won the championship. And then it was the T-Wolves, I believe. And then it was the Wizards, and then the Wizards again. So Wizards are the only back-to-back champions, and they're also the only team to win multiple championships. So out of the 4 years, they've won the last 2. So Wizards are a really good team. T-Wolves Gaming, also a really good team. They still have their franchise player. When they won the championship in season 2, the finals MVP was BearDaBeast. They still have him. And I think they've actually improved their gameplay and their roster tremendously. I mean, with the addition of Shifty Kai at shooting guard, especially, I think he came into the league playing point guard for the Gen.g Tigers. Phenomenal play from him. But again, that team just didn't work out. Now here we are in season 5, 2 years later, and he's doing fantastic alongside BearDaBeast for T-Wolves Gaming. And I really think that's the reason why they're going to move forward here in this bracket. But we'll get to that in 1 second. So the way it shakes out here, if you actually look at the overall standings, it'll tell you how many points they've gotten from the turn so far. So 5-5 for T-Wolves and Warriors because they went undefeated. They went 5-0. The Wizards also went 5-0, but they still trail in the Eastern Conference points-wise. They're still 1 point behind the Tigers. The top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, Tigers, Wizards, 76ers. Heat are up there in 4th as well. And then you got T-Wolves, Warriors, Lakers, and then the Jazz trailing in 4th. The only reason why the Jazz dropped down to 4th, by the way, Lakers got a win, I believe it was. Lakers got, I don't know what just happened there. Lakers got a win in their final game. Or no, they didn't. They actually lost to the Warriors. But the game of the week last week, that's the one that was the nail biter, right? It was T-Wolves versus Jazz Gaming. And again, that was close. Jazz were leading. T-Wolves had to shoot and make a buzzer beater 3-pointer to force OT. Then what they did was they had to shoot another buzzer beater 3-pointer to take it to double OT, and then they were able to win 92-88. So just the resilience from this T-Wolves Gaming team, the never say never, and the don't give up the fight mentality from them. And plus, they're not known to be a 3-point shooting team, and they're shooting that effectively. All right, so we're looking at the bracket here. First round is best of 1, and then the quarters, semis, and finals are all best of 3. And we could take a look here. I mean, we can see T-Wolves going up against the Hawks, Heat versus Mavs, Jazz versus Knicks, Wizards versus Pacers. On the other side, we've got Warriors and 76ers, Celtics and Lakers, Kings and Grizz, Tigers and Bucks. So just looking at this, the things that like point out that just jump out at me to start off with are, of course, the T-Wolves, the Jazz, and the Wizards all on the same side of the bracket. Yeah, there's some other big hitters in there. I mean, the Knicks are not a team to second guess. The Mavs, the Heat, those are all good teams, and they could be contenders. But I think the strongest 3 in this side of the bracket have to be the Jazz, Wizards, and T-Wolves because of the matchups that they have. On the other side, of course, the Warriors, Lakers, and the Tigers have to be the 3 that I look at. I think the left side of the bracket is just slightly a little bit stronger, but the right side's nothing to shake a stick at either. So we're going to take a look at this bracket and go through my predictions real quick. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the tip-off bracket because this is something that's interesting as well. T-Wolves actually ended up winning this. They won 2-0 versus the 76ers, 73-68, and then 83-66. So big margins there to just put it as plainly as possible. Not huge margins, but still pretty big when it comes to a finals performance. The 76ers ended up taking down the Heat. I mean, the Tigers made it. They went 3 games against the 76ers. Grizz, no contest. Raptors, Wizards, Nets all got taken out very early. Pistons, Bucks, Infinitos, and Jazz all got taken out pretty early as well. Jazz actually being taken out by Mavs was something I didn't expect that early in the bracket as well. Also, this bracket, not super strong very early on, right? Like, Infinitos are not that great this season, mostly. I mean, they're kind of like a middle-of-the-pack team, if you ask me. Pistons, awful team this year so far. Nets, awful showing. Kind of like the Cavs as well, just not playing great basketball so far. All right, so we can go ahead and we can just pop open this one right here. There's the bracket. Let's go through this. I'm actually going to give T-Wolves Gaming the victory here. I think that they're going to beat Hawks pretty convincingly, and I don't think it's going to be any sort of contest, really. I think that Hawks maybe will be able to keep up in the first and second quarter, so the entire first half. But after that, I think BearDaBeast and Shifty Kai are just going to put in work in that second half and really start to run the score up. Heat check versus Mavs gaming. This is a tough one. I think both teams are pretty good. I think both are playing great basketball right now. But I honestly think that with the Mavs, you can see I got the rosters here if you're unfamiliar. With the Mavs, they're playing really good basketball, and I think that Sick One has really stepped up in this tournament, especially. If you can even see, I mean, look at this. Sick One, 13 rebounds per game. Also, by the way, Hornets are not in the bracket for the turn, but shout out to DJ, man. 15.7 rebounds per game in the turn. First 2 weeks of the turn. Think about this. He's 2.3 ahead of the second place. After that, it's 13-4, 13-2, 13, 12-5. Like, all of them are within reach of each other, but DJ's just out there in front. But anyways, we see Sick One moving up there. Mavs playing fantastic basketball. The Heat, no one really jumps out at me stats-wise, but they do have a solid lineup. They have been playing some solid basketball. But again, I'm going to take the Mavs here, and I think this will be my upset here on this side of the bracket in the first round. Jazz Gaming, I think, is going to take down Knicks Gaming. I've been a fan of Jazz ever since Splashy came on the team, I think in 2020, season 3. They made it to the finals last year of the championship, ended up losing to the Wizards, but they had a really good run in 2020. They had a phenomenal run in 2021, and I think that they just had a little bit of a bad start so far here in this tournament, in the turn. I think they had a little bit of a bad bracket run in the tip-off as well, but I think that they'll pick it up. And as we get later into the season, I think the Jazz will get a little bit better and start to move up the ranks in the standings of that Western Conference. So I've got them beating the Knicks here. Wizards District versus Pacers. I want to give a shout-out to Pacers Gaming for making it through this gauntlet, by the way. If you take a look at what their bracket was, I mean, look at their bracket they had to go through. They had to go through, Mavs Gaming, Jazz Gaming, and T-Wolves Gaming. That is not an easy feat for them. I believe that was who was in their group. I don't know why this is Infinitos made it through, but they did not, I believe. So, is it going to show me the... No, it's not. Okay. Well, thank you for your consideration. We see the bracket here. Dukes and Infinitos did not make it through, so I don't know why it says they got 4th on the website. But we see here Pacers. I mean, look at this, 2-3 overall. They had a losing record in their group, but again, look who they had to go against. Like, beating Blazer 5 and beating Infinitos was enough for them to make it through because they had to go up against Mavs, they had to go through Jazz, they had to go through T-Wolves. That's a tough bracket. So I want to give a big shout out to Pacers Gaming for making it into this bracket because they had to go through that group. You look at the other group in the Western Conference. You got Warriors, and that was pretty much Warriors, Kings, and Lakers. I mean, the Bucks went 2-3. You got the Cavs, and you've got the Pistons in your side. So I think the stronger group of the Western Conference, of course, was Group A. So shout out to Pacers, but I've got Wizards District taking them down. All right, let's jump to the other side of the bracket here. Oh, let me fill this in. I put my scores, but I didn't advance the team. Okay, so let's look at the other side of the bracket here. This is another tough one. This is probably, Heat check versus Mavs Gaming was here for me. I think Warriors 76ers are like here for me. It's just, this could go either way. The Warriors, I believe, are the number 1 seed coming into this. Don't know how, because standings-wise, T-Wolves and Warriors both went 5-0, and then T-Wolves are above in the overall standings. I think what it came down to was the head-to-head tiebreaker was point differential, and Wizards also went 5-0. So maybe they just had more points. But I think that the Warriors are playing phenomenal ball right now. And I think that the Warriors are going to take this because they played so well in this tournament throughout the first 2 weeks, and they've garnered that first seed, and they've deserved it. So well done to the Warriors Gaming squad. And I think they're going to be the 76ers. That's a best of one. Again, I think that's going to go down to the wire. I think the Warriors 76ers is going to go to OT. I think Pacers are going to play better against the Wizards than what people think. And I think Jazz and Knicks are going to go down to the wire. That might not go OT. Jazz don't want it to go OT. Jazz are not a good overtime team. We've seen that already, especially with last week's game of the week against the T-Wolves. All right, so Celtics versus Lakers. I've got the Lakers coming out victorious on this one. The Lakers coming out victorious in this one. I think they're really good. And again, they're playing phenomenal basketball. You look at Crazy doing really good things. I think Reg, too, by the way. There's people even like commenting, look, Reg's not first rounding us for once. Let's go. Like, that's a real thing. Reg first rounds people. So Reg, I think at the point guard position is someone you have to look out for, especially in early brackets. So Lakers, I got them advancing. Kings versus Grizz. I'm actually going to go with the Grizz here. I think the Grizz can pull this one out. I like Kings, but I think that the Kings are just having a very difficult time closing out games. And I think that the Grizz are going to take this. Grizz, I think, are also due for a big one. And I think that's the big one they're going to get. Over here, Gen G Tigers versus Bucks Gaming. I'm going to take the Tigers. I think they're playing good basketball as well. And Tigers just hit diff in brackets very early. Then they end up going down. So we're going to move the Tigers into that next position. All right, so T-Wolves versus Mavs. I think T-Wolves actually are going to win this one as well. But this one's going to be close. I think this is going to go 2-1. And I think they're going to be very close games. Then we're going to see the Jazz versus Wizards. I'm actually going to take the Wizards here. This was a tough one for me as well. I thought maybe the Jazz could fight through and get to that semifinal for that rematch against the T-Wolves. But I think we're going to save that for later down the road. I think the Wizards are going to come out victorious here for this one. And then on the other side, we've got Warriors and Lakers. I think the Warriors are going to win this one. And I think this is going to be another 2-1. I think a lot of these games are going to come down to the wire. This one, Grizz and Tigers, however, I think is going to be close games, but going to be a 2-0 in favor of the Tigers. I think they have what it takes to take down the Grizz in the first two games and close that series out as a sweep. But I think, again, it's going to be very close games. All right, so continues with the best of threes. Into the semifinals, we got T-Wolves and Wizards. I think this is going to go the distance. Again, I think this is going to be a 2-1, and I think T-Wolves are going to come out on top. I've actually got the T-Wolves winning it. I think they're going to get the Triple Crown this season. I think they're going to win the three tournaments, the three big ones. They look really, really good. Again, BearDaBeast, Shifty Kai working together, just built diff in that 1-2 punch. Either one of them can play the shooting guard, and either one of them can play the point guard position. And actually, if you look at them, where is it? You can see how well they're actually playing when you look at, I believe. Okay, maybe I didn't write it down. Here it is. Steals per game. I mean, they've also got TB Shifty out there, right? And their defense is solid as well. Look at this. TB Shifty leads the league in steals per game with 4.3 and also has the most with 17, tied with Rhea from the Jazz, who, by the way, has been playing phenomenal basketball himself. Shout out Rhea at that big man position. Always been a fan of him. Playing phenomenal as well. Also played lights out. I think was up for contention for player of the week, even though they lost in double OT to the T-Wolves in that game of the week for the final, or for the final game of the second week leading into this bracket. All right, Warriors and Tigers. I think this is going to be Warriors 2-1 versus the Tigers. And of course, as said, I've got the T-Wolves winning. I think this is going to be a 2-1 as well. I think Warriors could force OT, but I still think that the T-Wolves are going to come out with the Triple Crown. There you have it. I got T-Wolves beating the Warriors 2-1. Some other upsets are in there. Mavs beating Heat. Is that really an upset, though? I mean, both of those teams are very strong and can take down each other any day of the week. So make sure you guys tune in. Let me know your guys' thoughts as well in the comments below if you are a fan of the 2K League. I know a lot of you probably watching this video are coming from when I did Rogue Company or Paladins or other things. So, or maybe are just waiting for me to put out some Apex. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.
Oh, hello there. It's Blue. I'm a terrible dancer, so ignore that version of me on the screen and listen to my voice when I say thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course, click on another video of mine. I heard you'll like those over there. They're pretty good.